You're watching the SCAC Player of the Week interviews. It's week 8 of the SCAC women's basketball season. And today we're joined by the SCAC Women's Basketball Player of the Week, Senior Center Hailey Coleman of the Trinity University Tigers. And Hailey, congratulations and thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Hailey, you and the rest of your Tiger teammates now 10 games into this 2021-22 season. The Trinity Tigers are 8-2 on the year, perfect 2-0 in SCAC play, winners of 7 straight, coming off 2 big holiday victories at home over Worcester State and LeTourneau this past week. Just sort of your opening thoughts on where this group is at through this opening 10 games of the season and the confidence level this team is starting to gain as you get ready to really dive into conference play.
Yeah, I think I speak for myself and my team as a whole, but I think we're just really happy to play again. We started off with like 8 road games, but so we kind of joked about last season playing like most of our games at home and against only conference opponents, and then this year we had the opportunity to play, up in Oregon, other schools across the conference, and just being able to play again really just, we take it for granted, like the traveling for sure and like having fans. So it's really nice to like have a sense of normalcy again, I think. So it's been really good. It's been really good those first 10 games for sure.
Individually, Hailey, you were outstanding in those 2 non-conference victories at home over the holiday. Your third and fourth 20-point efforts in your career. You averaged 22 points, 11.5 rebounds, 3 blocks in those 2 games, including 23 points and 13 rebounds in just 28 minutes in that victory over LeTourneau. Just your thoughts on where your game is at right now and how you've been able to be so successful individually for the Tigers out there on the floor.
Yeah, I think this past week especially, we were kind of limited numbers just with COVID protocol issues and stuff like that. But again, like kind of my sophomore year and junior year last year, especially like knowing that it's day to day really with the ongoing COVID situation and, not taking those days off for granted. It's kind of cliche to say like playing every game like it's your last, but I definitely think like when the opportunity presents itself, like playing to your greatest potential. Again, we were limited numbers, which was kind of, I don't want to say like had to do it, but I guess in that kind of scenario, like they were competitive teams, but yeah, I think they were great team wins and, kind of going into an adversity situation, like good on us for playing out those wins, I think,
Hailey, I'm interested looking at the schedule. This team opens up the season back on November 6th, and through that first 15 games of the year, you get 6 games in, and now with exams and holiday break, and you mentioned, facing some of the challenges of those COVID protocols, just 4 games over the last 47 days. How have you sort of been able to, as a group, maintain your focus, maintain that consistency, and still go out and continue to extend this 7-game winning streak?
Yeah, I know what Coach Hill kind of talked about at the beginning of the season with having a lot of returners. He kind of mentioned that practice, he wasn't necessarily concerned with the amount of practices we would be getting because I think we all have like trust in each other and trust in our coaches that everyone will get the job done. Going into finals and then having Thanksgiving break off and Christmas break off, it was kind of choppy, I guess you could say, like kind of scattered practices and then 2-day turnaround for games, things like that. But I think we all had faith in each other, knowing that like we would be getting those workouts in and trusting our teammates that we would come back better and even more in shape than what we were when we first left.
For you, Hailey, you've been such a huge part of this program since day one, stepping onto campus there in San Antonio. 25 starts your freshman year, now 50 starts throughout your career. You've started all 10 games this year as a senior. How have you seen your role change over the course of your time there at Trinity? And, have you now as a senior maybe felt a little bit more sense of urgency and shouldered some more leadership responsibilities this season?
Yeah, for sure. This year's definitely felt kind of like a time crunch. I know we have like our full season, but definitely more of like a sense of urgency, I guess. I look back on my freshman year and sophomore year too, like we take a lot of those games and like those practices for granted, I think. So really just kind of being present in the moment, I think, has been a big deal for me, especially this year with it being my senior year. And I think now going into conference, kind of keeping that same mentality and kind of breeding that again, like reiterating that within the underclassmen as well, like taking it day by day versus kind of looking long term, I guess.
And finally, Hailey, to wrap things up, you mentioned getting back into conference play. You and the rest of your Tiger teammates jump back into SCAC action at home this weekend. University of Dallas and Texas Lutheran coming to town. Just your thoughts on those two conference contests. What will be key for this team to continue to build on the momentum and extend that 7-game winning streak?
Yeah, for sure. I think these past two games being non-conference regional games, I think was kind of a great opportunity to ease back into conference play, especially. We're definitely looking forward to playing at home with our full roster again. I think these will be great games this weekend, so looking forward to it for sure.
A native of Kansas City, Missouri, and this week's SCAC Women's Basketball Player of the Week for Week 8 of the 2021-22 women's basketball season, senior center Hailey Coleman of the Trinity University Tigers. Hailey, again, congratulations on your honor and best of luck as you continue to march forward throughout your senior season.
Thank you.